Fiendishly difficult platformers with a unique art style have become something of a trend in recent years, with Cuphead generating tons of hype, fan art, and even a TV show, whilst Pizza Tower, developed by Tour de Pizza, has now taken that position of king on the indie game throne. Not only has the game's fans given it a 10 out of 10 rating on Steam, but it would appear to be a critical success. The fan wiki describes it as inspired by cartoons from the 90s, whilst gameplay reveals a clear inspiration from games of that era. 90s iterations of Mario and Sonic are obviously large contributors to the game's DNA, with not only environments playing homage, but also an emphasis on fast movement, coupled with platforming precision clearly stemming from the two franchises. In terms of cartoon aesthetics, what we end up with is an amalgamation of Courage the Cowardly Dog, Ed, Edd and Eddy, and Ren and Stimpy, clearly slamming nostalgia deep into the cheesy recesses of the game, and it is beautiful. Plus, Pizza Tower describes itself as inspired by the Wario Land series, filling in a niche long since empty after 2008's Wario Land Shake It. A Skeleton's review of the game also seems to be responsible for some of its fame, with other streamers and creators getting in on the hype. This concentrated internet sharing has resulted in massive amounts of memes, references, and edits, all culminating in a spaghetti-like miasma of digital love. What's interesting is that indie games are clearly moving away from the pixel art of 80s 16 and 32-bit games and further into the 90s and early 2000s styles. This indicates those who are working on video games and art are now comprised of a younger audience than the Gen Xers and millennials who grew up in the 80s and early 90s media. That being said, Pizza Tower has more of a late 90s and early 2000s feel to it, just before the introduction of CGI took over the majority of cartoon art. Of course, the popularity of PS1-style games such as Dusk or Iron Lung, both developed by New Blood Interactive, support this idea, as developers have started looking for a new aesthetic distinct from the oversaturated, yet admittedly beautiful, graphics of pixel art indie games. As for what happens next, there's the potential for Pizza Tower to be co-opted into a television show in a similar vein to Cuphead, should its characters continue to convey personality and a certain level of intriguing whimsy. In short, Pizza Tower's beautifully absurd aesthetic and fast-paced gameplay has resulted in an instant hit for digital culture, allowing the game to spread like wildfire thanks to its fans' ability to create art and meme edits insanely quickly. What meme would you guys like me to give a lesson in next? Let me know in the comments below.
And remember, like and subscribe! Or else...